Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 467. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Skadoosh.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Yo.
What's up, guys? Welcome, listeners, viewers, to 467 of the Gamecast. We are going to be continuing our conversation in this episode on New York Comic Con. There was some specific game stuff I left off of there that I saw. Just for this episode, and we're also going to be talking about what we want to see going forward. There'll be some other stuff in here. We had some experiences we didn't quite get into. I would like to correct. I want to make sure I say this right. I didn't correct myself. I had it right. It is Brian Kong. I bought that artwork from. It's Brian with an I, and KONG.com is his site. He's awesome. I mean, his stuff is great. So I just want to make sure that's I did look it up in between here, but so we're good there. But let's get into what I've been up to, playing wise, game wise. Anything new, guys? I played more Zelda. I'm 3 dungeons down. So
Nice.
yeah, like I said last week,
It's all coming back to you?
yeah, sort of. I don't remember I was telling Tony beforehand, I don't remember the Mario stuff. Like, I'm like, I don't remember this. Like, it's just like, I remember obviously I remember walking down ladders, going into like under dungeons, because that was in like original Zelda. Like, you would do that. But like, I knew I can jump in this game. I remember the jump. But I don't remember like specifically Goombas and like piranha plants. And I'm like, I don't remember any of this. And it looks great though. I mean, it looks fantastic. The dungeons run great. For those, my complaint last week was the performance of the game. And I have to say the dungeons run perfectly fine. There's 0 problems with slowdown at all in the dungeons. So it's basically just their open world thing, which I hope they can patch. But it looks great. It sounds great. The soundtrack is freaking fantastic now. And yeah, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. That's pretty much it for me of all I played, actually, though, because it's like it's been a week. So that's really all I got into. I found okay. I have to admit this on this podcast right now. I have found my Fire Emblem. I had never lost it. I talked about last week how I can't find the disc anywhere. I was freaking out. I can't find the case, apparently. And that is because Corey reminded me that, Jim, didn't you buy this digitally because you could not find it in the retail shop? And I'm like, shit. So I went and loaded the thing. I'm like, yep, it works.
There
okay.
it is.
Yep. So yeah, it was quite a lot of laughs happening. It was pretty funny when it happened because I was like, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Tony and I were like talking about that. I was like, wait, is he complaining about not having his disc? But didn't he, like we were saying, like I think he got it digitally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I forget what spawned it, but like I was thinking about like how you're like, because you slipped up on the pre-order, and I was like, I thought he said he bought it digitally, and Corey's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. I was like,
yeah, because Corey was
like,
gonna take the digital copy and give me the retail originally, and then I ended up going on my trip and just buying it digitally and using it. That's what happened, because I couldn't find it in the store before I left. I couldn't even find it in the store when I went out to where I was going. So I was like, you know what, that's it. I'm buying it. That's it. So I bought it, and yeah, so that's why there's no case either to be found. So yeah.
It's funny how you remember taking it out and putting Zelda in.
Yeah, but I took out Marvel. I took out Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and I put that in the right place because that's where it was. And it's just it's unbelievable. So so that's my funny story. Corey, playing anything?
Well, so I said I wasn't gonna get Destiny because I've been playing Borderlands, and all I do is play Borderlands, and so yeah, it's just been Borderlands. But I looked at my account, and I had $36 of credit waiting in my Microsoft account, and it was $37.20 something with tax for the DLC. So I was like, screw it, I'll just use that. 'Cause what am I gonna use this on? I'll play with the guys in the clan and stuff. I loaded up Destiny and play the first mission. Like, I'd rather be playing Borderlands, and I played Borderlands. So I was like, why did I do it?
Can't switch gears. It's got to be organic.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm not gonna do it because I know I'm just gonna be playing Borderlands, and then I did it anyway, just because I was like, why not? And then no.
Now, in like a few months, will that still be like something you can play with people, or will everyone have moved on by then?
Borderlands or Destiny?
No,
Destiny.
The part of Destiny that you just bought.
No, Destiny's going to be around for a while. I mean, they'll be ahead of me and stuff, but I could always get back into it. It's
that
just,
specific part, though.
I mean, the raid is going on. They had the raid over the weekend, I think, and I think it took 6 hours or something, almost 7 hours.
The funny part is by the time he joins, that raid will be on farm, and then somebody would be like, "I'll just run you through it. It's fine." I remember this. Don't worry. I can talk raids. I was World of Warcraft. I was OG.
No, I mean,
I was OG.
I still actually haven't done the previous raid, so there's a raid I still haven't done yet.
So far behind.
Yeah, too much Borderlands. Borderlands is still dominating the game time, so.
Yeah.
And they do have Dragon Quest on Switch too, which
there's some news for that. I didn't put it on here about the. Did we put that on there about the voice actor guild, the union for Troy Baker? I don't think I put it on here. Why he didn't reprise his role as Reese in this game? Mm-hmm. He was apparently. There was a whole controversy with that. Like, well, they made it into a controversy. He just said he didn't go back because they didn't want him because he was part of a union.
No. So this is where this is where it gets twisted a little bit.
All right, here comes the PR spin from Corey. Go ahead, Corey.
No, I'm not. No PR spin.
I'm kidding.
I'm just saying he refused, or his union, the union maybe, and his decision. Like he chose not to go back, and they also chose not to hire him back at the same time. The thing is, what he was saying sounded like they weren't hiring people that were in a union. That is not true. Ashley Birch is in a union, and she played Tiny Tina. Their issue in his union was they were also hiring local non-union voice actors, and he would not be a part of a game that hired union.
Non-union actors. Got you. Okay, well there you go. Cleaned it up. All right. Moving on, Mike.
So I've split my time with 2 games here. I went back because now the Curse of the Vampire and Marvel Knights DLC has happened for Ultimate Alliance 3. And it's interesting because there's a lot of stuff you get for free with this, and then the paid stuff is the 4 characters and the Gauntlet mode. Everything else, the new level cap, Shield Depot, where you can convert certain currencies into other things, all of that is free, which is cool. But because of that, the paid stuff needs to justify itself a little better for me. Because
they gave me too much free stuff.
Well, yeah, because I paid for this stuff, and then like I could have not and still gotten a lot of the cool stuff. So what happened here is, so now I'm looking at the 4 new characters. We got Punisher, Moon Knight, Morbius, and Blade. Yeah, and they all kind of, I don't care for any of them. Like I've leveled them up a little bit. I gave them a little bit of time, but I don't. They're not game changers to me like Cyclops and Colossus were. Both function and just being interesting characters. And then the Gauntlet mode, I thought they said there would be like story aspects to this DLC. There really isn't. The closest thing is the Gauntlet mode is where you'll have to just sort of do little like challenges like 5 to 10 in a row, and then that's one Gauntlet thing. With loading screens in between each of them, which is kind of annoying, especially when you do the lower level stuff that you can burn right through. But in that, Doctor Strange has some new voiceovers trying to like sort of give you a story, but that's it, which I was a little disappointed with. And I'm also disappointed with the early part of Gauntlet mode because you just burn through it with your level 100 characters, and you have to just wait through loading screens more than you're playing it half the time. But once it gets higher level, and then it's actually a challenge, it's a little more interesting, and like there's a certain things where you're constrained to which certain characters you have to play, so you're forced maybe out of your comfort zone, which is cool. And the rewards are pretty good, but overall I'm hoping the other DLCs have a little more going on as far as like a story mode. And honestly, I probably would have taken another Infinite Rift rather than Gauntlet mode, but we'll see.
What's the difference between Gauntlet mode and Nightmare mode?
Nightmare is literally just playing the game again, just with different like high-powered enemies, like the story. The Gauntlet is, it's its own thing where, again, there's no new environments or anything. It's just characters with new abilities, and you play in little sections again. And Doctor Strange will tell you a little exposition in a couple of them to make it into kind of a story.
All right. So, but they don't have like an official like story chapter thing.
No.
Like it's just kind of like, oh, we're here. Like, okay.
No, it's here. It's just like, so you're fighting some bosses, and there are new bosses, but they're not new. It's more like existing characters as bosses, which is kind of the coolest thing, I think. Like now you can fight like Wolverine or Captain America here and there as a boss, but other than that, you're just sort of challenging these. The enemies are different in the way that they act with new abilities, but other than that, it's just Doctor Strange being like, "Oh no, people are infected. You need to fight them," and like that's the story.
Oh,
so
okay.
So it's a little, but the sort of the outside stuff, as far as like the new currency, the level cap, that's all pretty cool. So I mean, and I beat all of them, and you can go back for more of this.
It's more content to a game that you're playing. It's
good, but I'm looking forward, maybe even expecting a little bit more of a dedicated like narrative. I know the story doesn't seem like the focus in this game at all, even the base game, but I was hoping for a little more. Maybe we'll get it in some of the other packs, although I don't know why. It's like wishful thinking because there's no reason to expect that after this. But
well, it could be that I'm hoping that maybe they got this one out of the way because it's like
the easy one.
Yeah, the easy one. Because like I mean, like the thing is like there's high expectations I think for like X-Men and Fantastic Four, right, and stuff like that. It's like this is like they could get away with just releasing the characters to these because it's like what kind of story really could you tell with them? Hopefully, I don't know. That's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping for.
But and then the other thing is I'm playing Witcher 3 again, and this game is like 4 or 5 years old now, and I managed to come across a unpatched quest preventing bug in this game, where they actually did patch in a little note you could pick up with an apology from CD Projekt Red, but it's not. It doesn't fix anything. So you can like download a few extra things, and one of the reasons why I'm playing again on New Game Plus is to get all the Witcher armor, which is kind of a convoluted sort of like treasure like hunt thing. And one of them is for some woven gear, and you have to start with a base and then you upgrade it, and you have to find different like diagrams for each one. But the chests that you need to open to get the base woven armor doesn't open for me, and it happened. And I looked it up. It happens for a lot of people, and they've never fixed it. They just give you a guy next to it, like a skeleton. You can loot the skeleton, and you'll get this note of apology, and and that's it. So I'm a little upset with that, and I can't believe that this game has been this popular for this long, and they haven't actually fixed this quest.
Well, they're all working on, Cyberpunk now.
Yeah, I know that, but
bigger and better things, Mike.
I know that, but this could have happened like 3 years ago.
So you're not getting this on Switch, is what you're saying?
Hey, maybe it won't be broken on Switch, but no, I don't.
I doubt it.
Why would I do that?
Speaking of that, previews are starting to come out of the Switch version, and it's all a cartridge. Like you don't have to download chunks of it.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How is that possible?
I've been thinking of that too as I'm playing this again because I have a PlayStation Pro, and it sounds like it is taking off when I play this game.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things I noticed because one of my favorite YouTube videos is Boundary Break, which she says, and you just get a good idea of like how frequently like stuff is culled or doesn't really exist in the world when you're there. But I'm noticing how many indoor and outdoor like environments are constant in this game. Like there's a lot, and it almost seems kind of inefficient, and maybe that's where the Switch finds some way to make it work, because it's pretty crazy. And this is an old game now, but I don't really understand exactly how it's going to work on the Switch, even more than I didn't before. And now, like as I'm playing it, I'm like, man, I don't get it. But it'll be interesting to see, like performance-wise, or any glitches or what happens with it. But because it does kind of seem every now and then like it's like tearing apart at the seams, even on the PlayStation Pro.
Yeah. All right, Tony.
Nothing. I opened up Dragon Quest. I put it in my Switch, downloaded the update, and then my bus ride to New York on a fucking Tuesday night. That's why I couldn't podcast last week. Tuesday night, 6 p.m. bus to New York City was completely full. And it was just so obnoxious because, like, the dude next to me was, like, taking up, more than his share of the space. And I wasn't about to get confrontation. I was like, whatever. It's like an hour and a half ride and stuff like that. So I just listened to music and whatnot. And then I didn't wait in any lines to actually play it. So it's on dock. It will get played, and I'll have to talk about it next week.
Cool. Okay.
I do want to mention before we move on, because we didn't podcast last week. Tony, you and I went to the Overwatch Grand Final.
Yeah. Go on. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Yep.
And that was in Philadelphia this year, Wells Fargo Center. I have to say, because we went to the Barclays the 2 years ago, and I do like that they have like the parking lot. Yeah. I like the parking lot at the Wells Fargo Center this year because basically, like Barclays, there is no parking lot really. It's just mostly mass, transit and stuff like that. So here you could tailgate, and we saw some tailgaters and stuff, which was pretty cool. And the event, I think the event itself was a bigger spectacle the first time around, like with the Barclays. But here, I think the actual thing was like better as far as how it was run, and obviously the musical performance was way better.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
So yeah, it was Ed, the DJ, and I appreciated they actually got behind the drum set and was actually rocking out there too. So that was cool. But yeah, it was cool, and Tony called it. He's like, it's gonna be a bloodbath, and San Francisco's gonna take it home. And I was like, you know what, Vancouver's been dominating the league, and they're really good. I don't know, but nope. This guy had a sign that said, 4 maps and a handshake, and that's exactly what it was. So
yeah, it was bad. I felt bad for Vancouver because it's just like they were like on top of the tier list for the whole year and just get utterly crushed. Utterly, not that they didn't have good moments. They had good moments and they had good plays, but just overall, like you could see like the gap between number 1 and number 2 in the league was just
and it's
massive.
Crazy that they were in the losers bracket. That's what the craziest thing to me was. They made it through to the losers bracket. But that team just looks very dominant. They were close maps, but San Francisco eked them out every time. So it wasn't like there was ever.
Score doesn't reflect that. There were some times where they went.
Yeah, there was and some of the moments, it's awesome. It's like you're with these people that are all, fans of the same thing, and these big moments happen, and everybody recognizes it, and it's like, it's like an actual sporting event. When someone hits a home run in a baseball game, everybody's cheering and yelling. It's great. So same idea here.
Yeah. People
appreciate the plays that are maybe not so flashy, but are skill based. But there was once the second map I can involved where one guy came out as Bastion, and people were like,
Architect, my boy.
It's like, what are you doing? And then he comes out as Bastion, just dominates, and Rocket jumps onto a chandelier and is shooting from a chandelier. It was just amazing. So good stuff. It was very entertaining. I have to say it was a very entertaining match. Even though it was so lopsided, it was definitely entertaining the entire time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's see. Let's get into the news real quick, and then we'll go into Comic-Con stuff. Some of this came from Comic-Con. Kamala Khan has been announced as a playable character in the new Avengers game coming out next year.
That's Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, for those that didn't know. So yeah, the new Miss Marvel.
She stretches, gets big.
She doesn't have anything like the original Miss Marvel's powers, but or Captain Marvel's powers. What was her name? Was it Miss Marvel?
She
right?
was Miss Marvel first.
She was Miss Marvel.
So yes, so that's interesting.
I think they were saying. She was rumored to be in it before, so that's not too surprising.
They had a tease for her in it earlier. Yeah. So
my personal suspicion is she's going to be propped up heavily for the next phase of the MCU.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's getting her own show, so
we forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that Tom Holland was helped bring him back to in the movie cast
into the fold.
Sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, she's gonna be. I think she will be a big part. I have this feeling. Let's see what do we got here. Kevin Conroy will not be voicing the new Batman in this whatever game is coming out here.
This unannounced, unofficial, definitely coming game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
go on.
I suspected this already. Because we knew it was Montreal, and also he was, even with you, just a couple years ago when you asked him about it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm not involved, and no one said anything to me. I can't believe it. And so I knew he was willing, and they didn't even talk to him about it. So I'm like, they're gonna go cheap again.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go.
But he's been
then
campaigning on Twitter for like playing that voice again, and like they're not contacting him.
I'm assuming they just want. I guess Ezio or whatever his name is, Roger Craig Smith, is cheaper. So I don't know, or they just have him in house already. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe judging by their past work, they're just gonna reuse some of his old voice lines from Origins because they like to reuse things there at Montreal. Honestly, the more I think about it, the less excited I am for a Montreal Batman game.
Well,
but
so you're in my realm.
I think
you're in my realm now.
It's going to be good.
I don't know. I think we have to just wait for the proper game coming, which I think will have Kevin Conroy's voice in it.
I hope. Again, perfect world, we get some sort of silly prequel thing here that'll be passable again, and then we'll get like a Justice League game from Rocksteady. But I don't know. That's again wishful thinking because it'd be crazy misdirection if because Kevin Conroy would have to be working on that now too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This Batman spin-off game will be a side story releasing in June, and maybe you'll get something from Rocksteady in 2021, but I wouldn't expect it before then.
I don't think so either.
And it's going to be riddled with games as a service, multiplayer.
WB garbage.
Yeah, WB garbage, yep.
Oh. This game or both of them?
No, the second one.
Oh,
for sure.
Okay. All right.
Whatever Rocksteady's working on.
Okay.
I don't know about
It's games as a
Montreal.
service game. Okay.
Yep.
All right. What else we have? We've got The Last of Us Part 2 companions. Better AI this time around. I think we kind of expect that, right? Do you expect them to help you more? The classic.
But are they in danger this time, or will they be completely invisible?
That's what it doesn't say in this response. This response says they can actually stealth kill. They can actually help you out.
Do we want them to be vulnerable anyway?
No, I don't have to worry about them when I'm worrying about myself in this whole thing. But especially if you're trying to avoid dogs searching for you in this game, I don't want to have to worry about where the hell's my ally here. Where the hell are they? Are they lagging behind? And then the other part of it is how do you balance that? Where are they too strong? And they're like, okay, now I'm just going to sit here and let my ally destroy everybody while I do nothing.
I don't know. I never liked the gameplay in Last of Us to begin with. But I do remember, it was just sort of immersion breaking when you're trying to be super sneaky, and then whoever's with you just running around like a crazy person in circles, sometimes literally running into enemies, and it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that being one of my complaints too, because I just remember trying to go through one of the segments with the clickers, and it's I'm being all stealthy and quiet, and then Ellie's just running around. I'm just she's not triggering anything, but I'm just well. This is awkward. Okay. Minor criticism, but it's all right.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how it's going to mix. It's going to be too easy, too hard. It's going to be, I don't know. We'll see how they're going to do it. Didn't get much answers from that. I mean, I guess we kind of expected it. But
yeah, they're definitely going to try to build on what they've done. It's just, it's a weird, it's one of the weaker points of the previous game, I guess.
Yeah. All right, let's move into the Blizzard news that we had happen. Was it this morning? Is that this morning?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. So go on this. What do we got going on here? Who wants to report it?
Blizzard Taiwan
Yes.
deleted Hearthstone Grandmasters winners interviewed to his support of Hong Kong protests, then basically banned him for a year and took away all his winnings. So there's that.
It's pretty
and
strong
then
response
Gods
there.
Unchained. Do you know Gods Unchained site?
It's a competitor, I think.
He they are. I don't know the Hearthstone scene well enough to know exactly, but they tweeted out saying, Blizzard just banned Blitzchung SHS, stripped his Hearthstone winnings because they care about money more than freedom. We will pay all of his lost tournament money. No player should be punished for their beliefs. #free gaming.
Now, this is sort of even, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but this happened in the NBA as well.
Yeah,
because
the owner of the
GM, I think the GM, not the owner, something like that.
Yeah.
Daryl Morey said something in support of the Hong Kong. I don't know what's going on there at all personally, so I'm not going to give an opinion here about it. But he gave a
he tweeted
support. He tweeted in support of them, and since the NBA's well invested in China, especially the Rockets with Yao Ming in the past being sort of their ambassador. They immediately like condemned him and like forced him to apologize, and just because I guess it's like insulting to China in some way. So it's very similar. And then people come out, it's like, oh, the NBA cares more about money than freedom. The same exact thing. Like other people, it's the same idea.
Yeah. Well, the Milan actress did this too. She's just guilty.
So everyone now is probably scrambling to research what exactly is going on there, because I don't know.
It's protests. The way the
that's exactly. Yeah. So that's one of the good things about this. So I mean, basically, what it was Hong Kong, and I could be wrong this part incorrectly, but because they were under British rule for so long, they had and after it ended, they had a certain amount of autonomy. But after a certain amount of time, they're being absorbed by the mainland Chinese government. So mainland China is coming in, stepping in, and trying to take away all their rights, all their freedoms. Because when you say like China, like somebody living in Hong Kong has like way more rights. And
well, China's a dictatorship.
Right,
Hong
exactly.
Kong wasn't.
right, exactly. That's a good way to put it. So a lot of the Hong Kong people are trying to like protest this and say like, you know, we should be a free people, like this, free our own country, this, that, and the other thing. And the Chinese government has been cracking down on the protests, but escalated to actually like using brutal violence to try to quash the riots. Like it's super scary actually to think about. I know a couple years ago we were talking about when Watch Dogs was unveiled, but like some of the shit that's going on is exactly like Watch Dogs. Like you have people who are protesting China that are like wearing like anti-riot gear with or not anti-riot, but like goggles, gas masks and stuff like that, and they're taking down these like surveillance cameras, these towers, just because like that's how like the government's trying to like keep a track of them and all this shit. It's really like super fucked up. So like my heart goes out to those people and everything like that. But particularly for this news with the Blizzard thing, I mean this guy was a professional, and like he went on his post-game interview to like, and he unmasked himself, and he was like, he said this statement like, you know, revolution of our times, you know, free Hong Kong or something like that. Yeah. And to me, I mean, that's a super powerful statement, because I mean, like he could just easily just say nothing, shut up, get his money.
Yeah, he had to have known what repercussions were coming. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like he had a platform that he was given, and he decided to, you know, say something because he felt that was the right thing to do. And absolutely, like, for Hong Kong, like that country, it's not necessarily because it was a separate country. It wasn't like part of China. It's like, so then yeah, they have certain. It's tough because again, it's like you don't know all the information because it's like unless you followed it very closely. But you know, there's it seems like there's a lot of obviously animosity between both sides.
Here's the violation. I'll read the violation and hear it. But go on. Okay. I have the whole violation. It's 6.1 of the rules section. According to Blizzard, engaging in any act that, in Blizzard's sole discretion, brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image, will result in removal from Grandmasters and reduction of the player's prize total to $0, in addition to other remedies which may be provided for under the handbook and Blizzard's website terms. So they wrote it in there a while ago. It's there. It is in violation.
So, yeah. The thing is really, like, China's reaction. That's the scariest part of this.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Is like, imagine somebody that's like just so super sensitive you can't talk to them about anything. You know, I'm sure we all have like a relative in the family or something like that, where like you just can't even bring something up because like you know like they're just gonna react poorly, and everybody has to walk on eggshells around them. You can't even bring up certain things. But imagine with like that's a country, like that's government, like it's just absolutely ridiculous that like they can't take any form of criticism and stuff like that. Where it's just like, oh, you offended us, like we're and the thing is because people just want this Chinese money now that they're finally opening up. It's pretty ridiculous, but
so other companies like are like, okay, China, we got your back.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the absurd thing to me because like, so another thing that happened real quick is not only did Blizzard suspend this guy, take his winnings, they actually fired the 2 Taiwanese broadcast, like Hearthstone broadcasters that were casters doing it just because he was being interviewed. Like they were the ones that
they allowed it to happen.
Yeah, and you could tell right away they both put their kind of heads down. They're like, oh, like we're we're gonna get some shit for this kind of thing. But it's been good because it actually sparked this huge debate. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news. It's all over Twitter. All the main like media sites are commenting on it. Not even just like the game sites. Like I think Washington Post and New York Times have posted an article on this now and stuff like that. So I mean, the dude definitely did use his platform wisely because actually, in all honesty, Blizzard doing this is probably the best thing that could have happened because if they hadn't done anything, I doubt this would have gotten like a tenth of the support it's been.
Right. Again, the communities like they're starting to talk about it now and they're starting to make a big deal where like we've heard things like this happen before, NBA and Mulan's actors stuff. People are coming out talking about it, but
South Park.
I mean, the NBA thing happened this week too. Like
so it's just it's just one of those things where if you're in a certain community, you want it, and you don't really know what's going on, and then you hear people talking about it within that community, you kind of start to learn more, and learning more about something and not just having opinions out of ignorance is probably a good thing.
I think that the implication here that I guess it might be different for a country like China, though, that is if you criticize how parts of their government handle one thing, it's not meant to be an insult to every company, person, or like even other part of the government in China. Like that's the part that sort of scares me, that it has to be like if you criticize Chinese government, that means you're like criticizing everyone from China at once. I don't think. I mean, again, maybe that's just different. Maybe that's how they have like nationalist pride there that maybe we don't have in the same way. But that's a scary type of nationalist pride if that's how it is.
Yeah. And that's it. It's like just super scary that Blizzard. And part of me wants to believe that it's more Activision than Blizzard. Putting their foot down on this because they want to launch not only obviously all the Blizzard games, but Call of Duty is a huge market for China, Chinese growth and all that stuff. But just the fact that a company whose games I have enjoyed for like decades, and almost all their games involve like you're like, a ragtag underdog heroes fighting against some form of tyranny or oppression at some point, and just like, cool. So like you want to make games about it, but when it comes to real life, you're just not gonna bend the knee to fucking China and just be like, well, screw over like freedoms, like we just need that Chinese money. It's like, fuck that. Some people actually out in Blizzard are unhappy with the decision too, and somebody tweeted out that in front of the headquarters out in California they have a statue of an orc riding a wolf, and they have some of their like core values on the statue, and one of them is I think like all voices matter or something like that. So apparently some Blizzard employees anonymously today like kind of like put paper over it to like protest in solidarity that it's like, hey, we say this, we should mean this, or we should take this off.
I saw Jason Schreier tweet about that too.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
So I mean, the other scary thing is it's such a huge country. Like,
oh yeah,
is it the biggest like single country? Is India? I don't know. They're like around the same, right?
Yeah, it's around that. I think maybe overall, I think India might be per like square, whatever the like
largest populated. Yeah.
But it's so. I mean, I guess I understand why certain companies don't want to piss off something that's like a quarter of the world, but at the same time,
and plus everything that we have here is made in China.
Yeah, so it's
get ready to pay like 4 times as much for the same stuff.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Real quick, just one last thing I want to talk about is like the thing is too is like we're coming up on BlizzCon again, so it'll be really interesting to see how from now until BlizzCon they do things, because like the thing is like they've been such an upswing, especially from last year. Like I remember we talked about the Diablo Immortal fiasco and all that shit, but like this year they've been on a hot streak, just like with Overwatch League Season 2 being good, WoW Classic being awesome. They're about to do Warcraft 3 remaster. Rumors of Overwatch 2 being announced, at BlizzCon, and now this is just kind of like a huge elephant in the room. So it would just be interesting to see how they approach it from the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Doom Eternal delayed till March 20th, 2020.
Womp womp.
More games. More games in March.
Dude, I remember
Quarter
1 is packed. Like
it's pretty much the new fall of this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be crazy. They need more time, obviously. So, biggest news of the week.
That was November too, right? Wasn't it?
That was November. Yeah. So there's a better.
I do like how it's the same day that Animal Crossing is coming out. So there's this, like some funny memes where it's like Doom guy showing Isabelle how to like fire like a rocket launcher or some bullshit. And it's just like, all right, like, yeah, makes sense, I guess. You know, fan art's cool that way.
Yep. And lastly, on the news side, we got PlayStation 5 Details, which is in fact called PlayStation 5. Big shock there. So Wired magazine had the exclusive. They have haptic feedback in controllers now. That's going to be in the DualShock 5s. System is coming out holiday of 2020, so it is coming next year, even though we've heard nothing yet about it. Well, we have heard enough now. Obviously, we never think nothing official, like announcement wise. Yeah. So anything else like standing out? I mean,
it's more than a year out, so.
Yeah. So first of all, because a lot of people that I follow and talk to were like, "Oh, this is really weird. It's kind of random. There's just like a little article and stuff like that."
Yeah.
But what I think happened was, some of these outlets were starting to get information because obviously, like, as third parties start to get more and more final details because they have to have these games ready for launch. Too many details probably got leaked to the point where who was it that was it Wired?
It was Wired last time. Yeah.
I'm sure Wired.
It's the same thing like with Xbox.
Right.
Like they're just like, we have the story, we're going to run it. Either way you can announce it, we can do it as a collaboration, or we're just going to run it.
Yep, exactly. And I'm 99% sure that's what happened because they probably had enough details of like, hey, look, like we could do a new story together and, it'll be official.
Make it a thing, or
right. And, the only thing I can think of and come back to is the whole Xbox One Adam Orth situation where it's like, it got out of Microsoft's hands, and by the time they were able to, it was way too late. They need, yep, exactly. Control it. Even though it doesn't sound like there's anything bad about it, but
no.
That's because they're able to control it. Like maybe it's like, oh, well, the PlayStation 4 is going to cost $899 US. Like, well, you know what? Let's not mention that in the piece. All right, let's just talk about the cool things like the SSD and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll give you a little more information if you leave a little bit more information out.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, a lot of this is the same article they were talking about before with the solid state drive news, which they had before. They were going to, and that was the rumor that they heard. They got that information. They were going to leak it, and then they got Mark Cerny over there just to say, here's an interview exclusive for you guys. So this sounds like this is what happens here. And, so the biggest thing, like I said, is going to be PlayStation 5, holiday 2020, haptic feedback in the controllers, longer battery life, USB-C controllers. I think that's what we got this time, right? I think that's the big
Courage.
thing. Yeah.
Courage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Apple's got Courage to put in iPads, but not iPhones. What the hell?
Yep. Better UI improvements. That's all we've got so far, really, details. So we'll see. All right.
There was one piece of news here that cross-play is officially out of beta for PS4.
Oh, yeah.
So anybody can actually do it.
I heard the Overwatch group is working on it now.
So, I mean, it's going to be a big feature of Modern Warfare. So that's the whole thing.
So, okay.
Gearbox, let's go.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back into Comic-Con. We were out there. We talked about it on the movie cast. Game-wise, there was a pretty good presence here. I got to see
Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers was surprising that it was playable there. It looks like it was the same demo we got to see. Yeah. The wait times weren't terrible. It was a long demo.
It was like 60 minutes.
60-minute wait time, but though it's a 30-minute demo.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Oh, it was a 30-minute demo.
Yeah,
wow,
it's a 30-minute. I asked the guy. I'm like, how long is this demo? I'm like, do I wait? And he's like, well, it's going to be about 60 minutes. And I'm like, well, how long do you play? He's like, well, depending on how good you are, 20 to 30 minutes. I'm like, oh. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And it looks like you get to play as your character. It's the same demo we saw. You get to play a scene for each of these characters.
I haven't seen any actually gameplay.
Oh, it looks.
I mean, I watched people play it.
I watched people play it too. I didn't get to play it either, but I watched people play it. It did look okay. I think it looked a little chunky in terms of the combat. Yeah.
Honestly, the Hulk section looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Hulk section? I only saw Widow and Iron Man.
I saw a Hulk section. It was kind of a younger kid playing, but he kept falling off the edge a lot. I'm like, okay. But I also saw Captain America section.
I saw that
which looked pretty Arkham-y.
What? Arkham,
but it looked better to me.
I mean, when you have a good fighting system, people are going to take it. So.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to play like it. It just kind of superficially looked similar.
I'm sure there's a counter system just like it in there. I'm sure there is. But, it looked okay. I mean, looked like I saw in the video. It's cool to see it actually getting played and get to see the input and then the movements. So
they released a bunch of like alternate like costumes with this too, right?
yeah,
That they're gonna have. So hopefully some of them look better. I mean, graphically, the game, aside from certain facial design and design choices, like it looks great.
yeah. I don't like the character designs, but it does look good. The atmospheres and stuff. Yeah, combat looks slow. It needs to be polished, but it looks okay. It looks good. It just needs to be
I
polished.
mean, seeing it there, like I'm a little more like on board than I was before. I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We also had the DBZ Kakarot game was there, which if you could kind of see it, I didn't get to see it much, but it looks just like the Z Fighters, but in an RPG game, fluid, looks like Dragon Ball Z. It looks awesome. So I would love to have played that, but that was Crazy Line 2. It looked good though. I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. Did you guys see Project Resistance was there?
Yeah, I actually forgot to mention. I actually sat in on that the Capcom panel.
Oh, good.
Because I was kind of like I had some time and I was like I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's right here, and it just started. I was like, well, let me see if I can get. And they're like, yeah, we got a couple like single seats, and I was like, I'm single here, so yeah, let's go. And you know, it doesn't look great, but I think it looks serviceable.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like an interesting, you know, 4v1 asymmetrical gameplay,
Yeah,
and I mean.
yeah.
If it's bad, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna pick it up. But it's good, you know, cool. All the more power to it. The one cool thing that they showed off there was the Monster Hunter Iceborne cross Resident Evil 2 collaboration, where they're bringing RE2 skins from the characters plus like zombies and shit to the game, including the tyrants, stuff like that. So yeah, I was like, you know what, that's really cool. I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan, but I love how they keep doing these collaborations with all these popular IPs just to like, you know, get new fans of both, you know, kind of excited and interested in the series. Especially I know Aloy's coming back for Horizon Zero Dawn collab and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's cool.
I saw Stranger Things game was there that looked really not so good.
Well, it's Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Just Stranger Things. Like, say they've been adding a lot of the monster. Like,
I just-
similar things.
Jason, Freddy, yeah.
Just didn't look that good. Sorry. I watched. I'm like, this doesn't look so good.
Oh no, it's super indie and stuff.
people
Yeah.
like the people that
People
like
love
it really
that
love
game.
it. Yeah.
So
It's what's crazy is that so you have Resident Evil game, the Dead by Daylight, and they also had Predator, which are all like one versus many games. It's kind of weird.
yeah.
Predator looked so shit.
Predator looked really bad.
There was like nobody
Yeah.
there.
I could have played that game and I did not. And I was like, no.
Nobody
Yeah.
was like it was like 3:00 on Thursday.
Yeah.
I walked by, it was like
Friday was empty.
full station.
Friday was
Nothing.
empty.
No.
Yeah. There were some people there
Like,
Saturday, but Friday was empty, and I'm just like, this looks terrible.
There's more people waiting in line to take a picture with a wax statue of
Yeah.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah. But yeah, so what else was there game wise? Am I missing anything else?
They had those little what are those 1-up or mini arcade cabinet things.
Well, they had a lot of that
And the
present there,
giant.
actually. Yeah, they had the
Those,
giant.
yeah, I mean
yeah.
those are the little ones and the giant one, which is pretty cool. That was
That
what
guy
was
we
that,
met
the
in the
first
Funko line, he actually
Capcom
bought
Marvel
one.
game.
Funny.
The problem I have for the what's that?
No, the guy that I was talking about who had the issue with the Fox panel, he actually
Yeah.
bought the Marvel one because
Oh, did he?
that has a light up marquee. He's
Oh,
like,
that's cool.
It
he's
looks.
like, I wouldn't get the other ones because they don't light up, but the Marvel one had light up marquee. I'm gonna get that.
It looks
They were
nice,
like- I
could
but
build
they're
people.
tiny. They're tiny. Like I'm afraid that like they flop around a little bit when they're not heavy enough. Are they heavy enough?
I don't know.
You can play them at Walmart. I mean, they usually have them.
Yeah. They just seem
I mean,
like the
they're
smaller
They're
ones.
$400, I think.
Depending on what you buy, I think I saw one for like $280, but some of them are up to like $430.
I mean, even just for a show like experience, there was a lot of them. Like you could.
Yeah, I love that
One-
giant
one
Marvel
thing to
superheroes
play
one they had. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun to see. Even with a giant like joystick and buttons
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Honestly, like the amount of games on the floor, I was kind of impressed with it. Sort of made me like feel like, PAX better step it up.
Yeah.
Because last time, I mean, I haven't been there for a few years, but like there wasn't that much more playable there than there is. Like it seemed like at Comic-Con.
Oh, the main companies are there. I mean, was Square even there this year?
Yeah, Avengers.
They had that mobile game. Oh, the Avengers. Yeah, that was right. That was their. I thought that was Marvel. I just thought that I chalked up to the Marvel's booth. So
yeah.
Yeah, they had a big mobile game presence too.
Those
Korean.
Yeah.
Some Korean company.
Yep.
What was it? 7 something?
I don't remember. Fate 7 or Destiny. I don't know what it was.
Sure, whatever. Some mobile big titty.
Yep.
Wife
Anime
game.
chicks. Yeah.
So yeah.
And they did another Dragon Ball game there, like Dragon Ball
Warriors.
Worlds or something.
Warriors.
Well, no, it was like a World Adventures.
I thought it was Warrior. Okay, it was World Adventures. That's what
It was
called?
like where they were like
Warriors.
out, battling something.
Yeah, I saw that one on the floor too. That looked okay. But
The
Kakarot
Kakarot one was kind of like hidden.
Yeah, you had to look
So you
into the.
couldn't
You had to like
the other
look
one-
up into the bubble and you can see
Right.
it, but to the dome. But
And then they had whatever game like a One Punch Man, Dynasty Warriors type game or something.
yeah. So, all right, experiences at the Comic-Con. I mean, we were talking about that in the last episode too. Like, just the amount of people there was nuts. For those who didn't listen to the movie cast, go listen to it. Saturday was even crazier. You couldn't move on the floor. You couldn't walk through the aisles properly on the main floor. Even in the outside areas of like just getting food and like just sitting down and just anywhere you went, it was like the main floor. It was overcrowded everywhere you go. There wasn't a place to breathe. Tony, you were outside the whole time. Because it was the best. It was cold outside, but it was the most like fresh air.
What did they have out there? I know they had like a Netflix thing, right? I didn't even look at it.
They had like a 1917 thing.
Yeah.
Like a tent or whatever. They had another thing I didn't know what it was. Probably Netflix or whatever. Food trucks and then just cosplayers and stuff like that. But just like at least you could somewhat move around there, and it was like Jim was saying, like fresh air because I was actually surprised. I didn't get like a lot of like nasty convention stereotypical nerd smells until Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was like started getting bad. I was like, oh God, like. But the other thing is too is like in the show floor they have these like popcorn fucking vendors. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, like I never thought you could get worse than just like BO, like body, from people that don't shower or use soap. But the combination of BO plus popcorn is like this sickening, disgusting, just putrid fragrance that is just worse than either of them combined. Like I like popcorn, but I don't want to smell it unless I'm personally eating it. Like it's just too strong of a smell if I'm not the one who's eating it and stuff like that. So BO popcorn is just fucking
You just
gross,
found
man.
the next Jelly Belly flavor.
Oh no!
Oh
no.
God. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was bad in there. And like I said, I didn't get in any panels. By the time I got off the floor to go to a panel, like it was already past lining up for it anyways, because you need to be there an hour early for the regular stuff, not the queuing in the main hall. So I did get to see Felicia Day's panel, which was cool. She is a big nerd, and
Talk about the guild.
a little bit, mostly about her new book, which deals with like treating anxiety, like helping out with anxiety, and how to get through stuff. But a lot of it, there was questions obviously of the guild. There was terrible. The moderator did like 3/4 of the damn panel was like viewer questions, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck. So, and yeah, of course, because you always get those questions. You're just like, why are you asking this question? And she handled it great, but it's just like, even she asked the first girl, ran up to the microphone, and said in like she ran up to the microphone. First question, she said in episode I don't remember 26 of season 4 of Eureka, you guys were making this origami artwork, and you had to do all this stuff before you could take off. And she's like, did you actually make that artwork? And Felicia Day was like, what? She's like, I don't even remember this.
Did anyone boo that?
Huh?
Did anyone boo that? I would have booed that.
We were just like, what? Everybody's like, wait, this is your first question? And then like she's like, even if Felicia Day was like, you seriously just ran up to the microphone to ask me this? Okay, I mean, I guess we worked.
Maybe she
on
got
stuff.
money on it. She's like trying to bet. She was betting her friend or something.
She's like, I don't remember this episode at all. And she took it in good stride there. She's like, you know what? I totally am the best origami ever. I do the best. So yes, that's me. Yes. Took credit for whatever it was. She's like, but you can clearly see that.
I would have run up there and been like, what was your favorite guest star appearance in an episode of some random show?
Yeah. So, but the other questions are okay, I guess. But
that's why I'm glad Charisma Carpenter mentioned an episode by name to me.
Yeah, so she actually remembers
the show.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. What else? So let's go into like moving forward. This convention is growing and growing and growing, it's almost like, do you go on Saturday now? You know, it's like, do you even go on Saturday? So it's going to be a Thursday, Friday thing. A lot of people, I think. And then
that would.
And that's the thing, though. Is like Thursday's just as bad. I mean, Thursday, you're not getting a reprieve more on Thursday.
But what do they do? Like,
if anything, like people are gonna be like blitzing Thursdays to get like first dibs on shit now.
Yeah. But like, what do you do?
Well,
like,
the thing is,
go on.
Well, the thing is, I'm gonna say is like, unfortunately, when the tickets go on sale, you don't even know the full extent of like the guests or the panels or anything like that.
Or when they'll be there, yeah.
And they always save the prime material for Saturday. Like, this is the first Saturday since we started going to New York Comic Con that I was like, oh, you know, I don't actually care for any of these panels. You know, in the past years, it's been like the Voltron ones, the Marvel, Netflix ones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. while it was like, you know, super hot. All those ones, and I love going. And that was the day, though. It was like, you know, first hour or two waiting in line, and then we had some reprieve, and then it's like back-to-back panel. And it was fine. That worked out because, you know, I didn't have to fight the show floor or anything like that, so it worked. Yeah. But this year is just like, there's nothing. Like, so it's just like shrug. But to take that chance, like that would suck if it's like, I'll just buy Thursday, Friday, and then we announce a guest, and it's like Saturday only, kind of like, you know, with Angel and Mike. You know, it's like, that sucks.
I don't know how I would have gone there anyway. That early into the city because we didn't get a place there. That would have been almost impossible.
Well, you also would have had to line up. Yeah, you'd have to line up at like 7 a.m. over there, I'm sure. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what they can do to improve it. I know what they're doing. They're trying to move it across the city. Like, so there's people going to Madison Square Garden. There's people going to.
Well, they are building a huge addition, which is going to help, I think. But that's not going to be for another year or two.
Yeah, the problem is like it's not going to fix the problem because they're just going to sell more tickets. You want to have expanding, always growing user base. Like, I think you need to cap it. I think they need to put a cap in place and say, this is it. No matter how big this place gets, this is what we're selling.
I mean, I'm sure they have something in mind. They didn't sell out their Thursday tickets, so I don't know. They must have something in mind.
They just really need that expansion building to be finished already, and I think that would help a lot.
Yeah, because it is taking up space to not have it there.
It's actually cutting into the artist galleries that used to be all over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I remember, like, what was it? Like 2 years ago, the one section that I think was just the Q Hall this year, they had like the entire section that was like just games. Like I remember we tried out like a lot of the VR experience. That was awesome.
That was.
It was like nobody like knew about it. It's like, oh, there's like nobody here. We just like
we tried John Wick. We tried a whole bunch of stuff real quick.
Yeah, we tried a whole bunch of stuff. It was awesome. So it's like. I think the things were just spread out.
15 was down there, I think.
Yeah, it was. That's right. It was down there.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think like they just need that expansion. You're right. Line management has been great. The management has been great for that line management, and they need better. I think they need better guests in terms of panels, not in terms of like main stage panels. I think it was very lackluster this year in terms of what they got. Even overall, there wasn't much every day. Like there was like. A couple of them I would have liked to have been on, like one I would like to have been on Thursday, one I wanted to go to on Friday, and like really none on Saturday that I wanted to see. Because like the stuff I was interested in was all like the garden. And I'm like, I'm not going to walk all the way to Madison Square Garden to maybe get into a panel, especially after hearing this from Corey, like the reserve thing. That needs to get fixed, definitely. So, I don't know, there's a lot they can improve on, I guess. You know, the staff there has been good. They've been getting, like you said, more under control every year in terms of what they're doing in lines.
Yep, they're improving.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what's out of control is the main area outside the showroom where they took costume pictures and the congregation area. It's like, it's just like full. It's too full.
Yeah. They just need, you know, like the thing is like, you can't like not have the cosplay because it's gotten so big over the years and it is a draw for some people. But they just need to have dedicated areas to that so that people can just go there who want to take pictures. Because, you know, the thing is, it's really unfortunate when you come across somebody who has an awesome costume, and at least me, because like I'll think about like being a pain in the butt to other people. It's like, well, I'm not going to stop this person in the middle of this intersection to take a picture
because that's the right thing to do. Yeah.
Right. But like other people do it, and I'm just like, dudes, like you are creating so much fucking traffic because you just want a picture. Like, follow them to wherever they're going if you really want to fucking picture that bad, dude. Like, just get out of here.
I mean, it's not even that, though. Like, right out in that same area, they have, like, professional shit, like, set up right where people should be walking in and out of the show floor. They got, like, you know, these lights circling, like, these people. They're like, oh, excuse me, could you walk around? It's like, what the fuck? Why are you here, dude? Yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that, too, so.
Yeah.
It's just... a lot of people competing.
I even
for
said to
space.
I said to my girlfriend too, I appreciate PAX when they have that whole like board game area where you can just sit down at the tables and play a game or something. I would love to see that in this area, like just to have a relaxing area, just sit down and just take a breather. And like we used to do that all the time, is meet up over there in PAX and play a board game, or not even just meet up over there, because it was like you can sit down.
I do think that they added more seating this year than before. I found it was less impossible, I feel like, to find a chair somewhere. It was hard, but it was possible.
We sat on sidewalks most of the time. So
stairs.
I mean, we got a table at the cafeteria when we ate.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that space wise, they're definitely it's gonna be a lot better once they have that section opened, obviously. But yeah, I would like to see it. You know, San Diego obviously is the big one, and they have like these huge panels and big events. I would like to see that at New York, though. I would like to see like someone be like, "All right, we're gonna do a big event in New York," because that would be cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the time of the year. I don't know if it makes sense so much because San Diego is just a better timing wise, but it would be neat to see. You know, maybe a huge.
I mean, if Disney didn't have their D23, like, it's a good Disney Plus thing there, but like DC has the possibility to do it here. They could take it because they started to with Harley Quinn this year. There's a lot of DC presence, more than last year. So DC you might see them pick up a lot of their DC Universe stuff and put it at this convention. It really could. I saw the opening.
Why not have like a Doom Patrol and Titans panel?
Because they were doing stuff with they previewed the first episode of Harley Quinn here for the animated. They had a big thing for the Birds of Prey there. They always have a decent presence, and I just think that it's with Marvel just clearly moving in with Disney here at D23. I think DC has a good opportunity to take over that mantle and do some cool stuff here. Even like if they want to talk about their stupid CW shows or whatever it is. I mean, they have that too going, but so I don't know. But
no, it makes sense.
Yeah. Anything else?
It's an opening there.
Anything else to add, guys?
No, just still awesome show.
It's great.
Just
it's great. Tiring.
Because the thing that I love about it is just like even when the convention's over, or like Saturday, I got tired of the convention early. I just left. I'm still in fucking New York City. I got to do so much. Yeah. So much stuff. I got to eat so much good food. It's New York.
So funny that little like marketplace that we go to is like so good.
It is. It is
well priced. Like it's actually like cheaper than some of the food like salad bars you can get around here.
Yeah. So that little market is awesome find. Even the market up from that's got like hot food, like a lot more restaurants built in, is pretty good price too. Way up.
Was it the Gotham
Market or whatever?
Yeah, I know it's like
they had that ramen there. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
So we talked about that when Tony and I went to get dinner.
Dude, and I got a really rare Vermont beer up the street. It was awesome. So I was happy. All right. I think that's it, guys. I think it's going to wrap up this episode of Gamecast. Thanks for tuning in. You can write us podcast at allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter at allyoucangeek. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. We're going to be on Spotify. We're going to be on iHeartRadio as soon as we get approved for that. We are on Spotify already. Just the new episodes will start showing up for you guys soon. So look for those there. And thanks. See you guys next week.